Hello everybody, Timothy Bailey here with a video for today. What we're going to talk about today is reading comprehension. Specifically, we're going to look a little bit at vocabulary and answering questions. Today, when I tell you, I'd like you to pause the video and then you can study what is on the screen a little bit. One of the things are the types of context clues. So we have definition clues, example clues, inference clues, and then synonym and antonym clues. Right? The other thing are the reading strategies: predicting, visualizing, questioning, connecting, identifying, inferring, and evaluating. Go ahead and pause the screen, read over those. I did make a video previously looking at vocabulary and the context clues. Just check them out real quick. One of the things I always talk to students about is the idea of talking through the reading. So whatever you're reading, talk to yourself. Ask yourself questions. Right here, question. Do I understand what this sentence is about? How does this sentence relate to the one before it or the one after it? How does this paragraph relate to the other paragraphs or the whole text? Today we're going to look at just a couple short pieces, but first let's look at some vocabulary. I'm going to run through them quickly. Conveyed, vocal, lesser, libretto, ensemble, symphonic, orchestra, sailors, superiority, satisfactory, and superior. Now, one of the questions students often ask is, how do you know which ones are helpful now with a text and which ones should I learn later? Well, there's not a great way to figure that out. You can look at an academic word list or a word frequency website. My suggestion, if you're in class, is to ask your teacher as well. I'll tell you from this list of words, conveyed is a good word to know outside of class, outside of a text. Lesser is a good word to know. Superiority is a good word. Satisfactory is good, and superior is good as well. Okay. The other thing that's important when you're learning vocabulary, and I've mentioned before, superiority, the noun, and superior, the adjective, are part of the same family, right, of words. So you should really learn them at the same time so that when you see them, you're not learning a new word again, right? You can study the suffixes, or if there were prefixes, to figure out what the new meaning for that specific word is. Let's look at our first passage, passage 1, opera. Right? Opera refers to a dramatic art form originating in Europe, in which the emotional content is conveyed to the audience as much through music, both vocal and instrumental, as it is through the lyrics. By contrast, in musical theater, an actor's dramatic performance is primary, and the music plays a lesser role. The drama in opera is presented using the primary elements of theater, such as scenery, costumes, and acting. However, the words of the opera, or libretto, are sung rather than spoken. The singers are accompanied by a musical ensemble, ranging from a small instrumental ensemble to a full symphonic orchestra. Okay, and here are the vocabulary words, so you can look at them, you can study them, look at the context. For example, libretto, not a useful word, but how do we figure out what it means? Well, look at the sentence. The words of the opera, comma, or libretto, comma, are sung rather than spoken. When we do this, it often tells us about something that came before. So the words of an opera are called libretto, right? Let's look at the first question. It is pointed out in the reading that opera, here I want you to pause the video, figure out what the answer is. If you chose B, you are correct, right? It tells us down here at the end, right? A drama sung, right? With the accompaniment of an orchestra, right? Accompaniment of an orchestra. The singers accompanied, right, by the orchestra. And let's try the second one. Number 2, we can understand from the reading that. Go ahead and pause, figure out what the answer is. If you chose C, you are correct. Orchestras and operas can vary considerably. Again, this one comes from the last, right? So Here, ranging from a small instrumental ensemble to a full symphonic orchestra. Now, you may not know what this is, right? And these are not necessarily helpful words outside of the text. But a range from something that's small, we can guess here, full means something that is big, right? So orchestras and operas vary considerably in size, small to big, okay? The other thing you can do when you're doing these sorts of comprehension questions is to eliminate what is not the answer, right? The text does not talk about the audience being captivated, right? There is not a talk about argument over which is more important. So these are not our answers. Try C, or number 3. Right, number 3, it is stated in the reading that. Go ahead and pause. If you chose C, you are correct, right? Music in musical theater is not as important as it is in opera, right? So in musical theater, here we go, musical theater, an actor's dramatic performance is primary, so the actor's performance is most important, the music is lesser, right? Not as important as, right? Let's look at our second one here. Passage 2, dolphins. Dolphins are regarded as the friendliest creatures in the sea, and stories of them helping drowning sailors have been common since Roman times. The more we learn about dolphins, the more we realize that their society is more complex than people previously imagined. They look after other dolphins when they are ill, care for pregnant mothers, and protect the weakest in the community, as we do. Some scientists have suggested that dolphins have a language, but it is much more probable that they communicate with each other without needing words. Could any of these mammals be more intelligent than man? Certainly the most common argument in favor of man's superiority over them, that we can kill them more easily than they can kill us, is the least satisfactory. On the contrary, the more we discover about these remarkable creatures, the less we appear superior when we destroy them. So let's look at number 1. It is clear from the passage that dolphins, go ahead and pause. What did you say for this one? If you said C, you are correct, right? Have a reputation, and that's how this text begins. Dolphins, right? Friendliest creature, helping drowning sailors, right? So here at the very beginning, they're helping, right? A, not mentioned in the text, are proven to be less intelligent. No, in fact, they talk about the opposite. So you can go through and eliminate these other answers. Let's try number 5. The fact that the writer of the passage thinks that we can kill dolphins more easily than they can kill us is, right, number 5. If you chose D, right, you are correct, right? Does not mean that we are superior to them, right? Does not mean that we are superior to them, right? In fact, he says on the contrary, right, it looks like they may be superior, right, when we are the ones destroying them. So these last 2 sentences provide our answer there. And the last one, number 6, go ahead and pause. All right. One can infer from the reading that if you chose E, you are correct. Dolphins have some social traits that are similar to those of humans, right? It's not much of an inference because they do talk up here, right, that dolphins look after people when, not people, they look after other dolphins when they are ill. They care for pregnant mother dolphins. They protect the weakest, as we do, as humans do. So yes, although the author does not say dolphins have some of the same social traits, this sentence points very clearly to that idea. Right, here are some links. So here are some more reading passages and the context clues that you can study and the comprehension strategies. I hope this was helpful. Check out the other short passages to read. See how you do. Thank you and have a great day.